Jadav is back at it here to give my final Game of Thrones Season 2 episode reaction video. But before I continue with that, pretty important if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching Game of Thrones, or you're just not sure, then you should probably take the initiative and pay attention to the episode title, which of course I'll say and put in the description for you. If that's the case, and you find out that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This will be Game of Thrones Season 2, Episode number 10, the Season 2 finale. The title of this episode is called Valar Morghulis. This will be my reaction, review, recap after just finishing watching the episode. Tywin is named the Hand of the King, replacing Tyrion, and Lord Peter Baelish, Littlefinger, is awarded Harrenhal. Sir Loras Tyrell asked Joffrey, because of his help, to wed Lady Marjorie and Joffrey with Cersei and Pycelle's agreement. They go back and forth on it. Joffrey says, well, I've already made a promise to the gods. I'm a promise to the Starks with Sansa. And then Pycelle rambled, before whatever he mumbles. He always does that stuff. Anyway, he finds out it would be okay. So he said, okay, fine. I will wed Lady Marjorie Tyrell. And that's that. So Sansa actually is pretty relieved about that, although might not be a good thing because he might treat her like shit now, worse than he already does. And Baelish, or Littlefinger, whatever you want to call him, offers to smuggle Sansa home, but she declines. And then Varys plots to undermine Littlefinger with the help of Raz. And then scarred and without allies except for Podrick, Tyrion learns Cersei was behind the attempt on his life, and Bronn is no longer captain of the City Watch. Shae tries to convince him to leave for Pentos, but he refuses. He likes to be there in King's Landing. He likes to outsmart everybody with his brains rather than his brawn, which he does. Stannis tries to strangle Melisandre for his defeat, but relents after truly comprehending her involvement in Renly's death. He is struck by divine visions, restoring his faith in Melisandre. Now, escorting Jaime to King's Landing, Brienne finds 3 women lynched by Stark soldiers, whom she kills before burying the women. Brienne reminds Jaime that she serves Catelyn, not House Stark. Robb confides to Catelyn that he loves Talisa and will not proceed with the arranged marriage to House Frey, which Catelyn tells Robb, Walder Frey is a very dangerous man. This is not something that you should do. But despite Catelyn's warning, Robb actually marries Talisa. So they just got it on, and all of a sudden they're getting married. Truly, love at first sight. Anyway, under siege, Theon rejects Luwin's advice to leave for the Night's Watch, believing Jon will kill him as things are not going well at Winterfell for Theon, and he's worried. Now, Theon, he tries to rally his men, but is knocked out by Dagmir and brought to the Bolton forces. Now, Maester Luwin is actually stabbed by Dagmir, and then Bronn, Rickon, Hodor, and Osha find Winterfell sacked and Maester Luwin dying at the Godswood, advising them to head for the wall. That's what Maester Luwin tells. He says, I was there for both of your births, Rickon and Bran. And it's a touching moment. And as they go with Hodor, Maester Luwin tells Osha to mercifully kill him, which she does, because Osha is one of the best characters on the Game of Thrones and one of the toughest characters, in my opinion. She doesn't get a lot of credit. Not only a lot of people talk about Osha, but I like Osha. And fleeing Harrenhal, Arya, Gendry, and Hot Pie are surprised by Jaqen, who offers to train Arya in his abilities, but she declines, saying she must find her family. He gives her a special coin and the phrase Valar Morghulis to use to find him, to give it to anybody, or say that phrase to anybody in West. Where are they going? I can't remember the exact place. Not Westeros. It's wherever the dance instructor guy was for. I'm drawing a blank. I should not draw a blank on this, but I am. Anyway, and then he actually reveals his face-changing ability before departing. Pyrepri's magic strands Jorah and Gavaro outside the House of the Undying while trapping Daenerys within. Now, she sees some strange visions. She even sees Khal Drogo with their child, but it's not a real vision. And then after incurring those strange visions, she finally finds her dragons chained as Pyre appears and binds her. Now, Daenerys orders her dragons to breathe fire, and she says Jacaerys, and then they end up killing Pyre and freeing her. Now, Daenerys finds Xaro in bed with Doria and seals them in Xaro's empty vault, revealing that his claim to be wealthy was a fraud all along. And then she and her companions then loot Xaro's house to buy a ship. Now, Horon goads Jon into killing him, convincing the wildlings Jon has defected. Now, Jon is introduced to a massive wildling force and promised a meeting with Mance Rayder. And then Ed, Gren, and Sam hear 3 horn blasts, meaning the White Walkers are coming. Ed and Gren run and leave Sam. Sam is actually surrounded by an army of whites and a White Walker who notices but ignores him as they march toward the Night's Watch encampment. And that is how the episode ends. So a pretty packed finale of Game of Thrones. No crazy deaths that we got. Well, unless you count the death of Pyre and putting Xaro and Doria in the vault. But good all around. I'm going to give the episode a 9.2 out of 10. It was highly entertaining and lots of interesting things happened. It was very sad that Maester Luwin died. He was a good character. It was good that Joffrey's deciding to wed Lady Marjorie. I like Marjorie, but that's not going to be good for her, possibly. Sansa, what's going to be next for Sansa? A lot of interesting questions, of course. Jaqen H'ghar is leaving to go to... What? It's not Westeros. It's... I can't believe I can't remember that. It's so easy. I'm just drawing a brain fart. But regardless of that, I forget things. I'm going to give the character of the episode after the 9.2 score to Daenerys because she was very interesting in this episode. She's like the season finale character, it seems. She was the season 1 finale character, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because of her going in the fire and coming out with the Drogo thing. But anyway, so you've heard what I have to say. Now it's Braavos. That's where it is. I remember Braavos. That's where Jaqen H'ghar went. I can't believe I forgot that. I was going to say Westeros over and over. And I know it's not Westeros because they're in Westeros already. So you've heard what I have to say. Now it's your turn if you're a fan of Game of Thrones and you like this series. Even though the last 2 seasons, some people hate them. Some people go, eh. Some people like them. I'm kind of in the middle. I like a lot of the episodes from the last 2 seasons. I think the pace sped up quite a bit. But all in all, I was, for the most part, satisfied with Game of Thrones' ending. For the most part, there's a couple nitpick things, but a lot of people that read the books are just furious about things that happened. So make sure you smash that like button. If you know anybody that likes Game of Thrones and would be interested in this, go ahead and share the video with them. Don't forget to leave me a comment with your thoughts. You don't necessarily have to talk about this episode, but if you do, great. Tell me what you thought about the episode, your score if you can remember, or if you just want to tell me your favorite episodes, favorite theories about Game of Thrones, things that you liked about Game of Thrones, things you didn't like, issues that you had, whatever you want to talk about, just leave that in the comment section. And of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and JDev will return.